Jai Hind, this is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan. We meet again on the 25th episode of various important events that took place which affect India's internal and external security. In this, we'll cover a large ground: energy security, information security, internal security, external security, hybrid war, and so on and so forth. Firstly, let's carry out a review of some important activity. First information is that the Taliban-led administration has signed a first contract with a Chinese company which allows Chinese company to extract oil from one of the provinces of Afghanistan. This is a very interesting news because before this, no other company had dared to go and invest money in Afghanistan and extract some minerals from there. Let us wait and watch and see what happens. The next issue is with regard to establishing of various foreign universities in India. Universities like Yale, Oxford, Stanford, etc., will be allowed to set up campuses in India and award degrees. This is the part of overall of higher education. So this will ensure that education which is given in other parts of the world, our students are aware of it and we improve our knowledge and get the best from wherever they are. The next issue pertains to Russia-Ukraine war, in which Ukraine fired some artillery guns and missiles, and the Russians lost very heavily simply because the Russians made an elementary mistake of turning on their mobiles. This brought the counter bombardment of the Ukraine, and Russia lost very heavily. Now, some important events with regard to internal security. First is a American company called General Automatics has decided to partner with Bharat Forge and manufacture aerostructures in India, which is a very good news. Second issue pertains to Kashmir. The last 1 week has been a tragic one for Jammu and Kashmir because in the district of Rajouri, we have lost nearly 7 civilians who have been killed by terror attack. Now again, Village Defense Council, Village Defense Force is going to come into limelight, and the government has decided that 18 additional companies of the CRPF will be deployed in this area. The next issue pertains to border area villages. One would remember that in the last budget, the finance minister had talked about border villages. What has been found is that people don't want to stay next to the international border. They come back towards big cities, etc. And a lot of area from the international border, be it on the China border, be it on the Pakistani border, gets vacated, and it is not possible to deploy army there or police there. So it is important that people continue to stay in the border areas. For that, government has started a scheme in the last budget which was called as the Vibrant Village Program, in which government has decided that they will help to construct the villages, they'll create infrastructure, housing, they'll open up tourist center, they'll improve roads, they will provide a decentralized renewable energy, etc. This will ensure that people stay there. And these kind of villages are going to be opened on the China border in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Ladakh, etc. And they will also be opened up for the tourists so that infrastructure which is built up there will be put to good use. And this is making some progress now, and allotment will be made in the next budget in which a lot of money will be allotted for this. This is to ensure that our borders become secure with patriotic citizens. The next issue is a very important issue with regard to energy security, and it is a mission called National Green Hydrogen Mission. What it simply means is government has cleared a plan to start National Green Hydrogen Mission, which aims to produce hydrogen as a renewable form of energy. And by 2030, the goal is to have at least 5 million metric tons of green hydrogen which will be manufactured in India. And the outlay for this is nearly 19,000 crore plus, out of which 17,000 crore plus will be for transition program. Second, next will be for pilot project. Next money will be research and development and maybe other components. So this is expected that this project will attract investments worth rupees 8 lakh crores. I repeat, worth rupees 8 lakh crores, and is expected to create at least 6 jobs by 2030. And the benefits are many. Carbon deposits will decrease. It will reduce our dependence on getting energy from outside. It will reduce our dependence on fossil fuel. Indigenous manufacturing facilities will come. Jobs will be created. Cutting edge technology will come into India, etc., etc. So this is a very, very good plan which Government of India has made with support from Government of India, because this is a front end technology which is just not been proved completely, and therefore there are a lot of risks are involved in this. So therefore government is helping. Hydrogen with its limitless and extremely low cost can become a powerhouse for India's next generation of transformation. And it is in the first time that we are not going to miss a bus, but we are going to be a pioneer as far as India is concerned in becoming energy surplus. The next issue is government of parliament has passed a special legislation on repression of piracy. Piracy, pirates, etc. Our 2019 anti-maritime piracy bill is based on United Nations Convention on Laws of Seas. So it's a good important step because it will help the Coast Guard and the other maritime forces to arrest pirates and take action against them if they come into the Indian waters. The next issue is with regard to job security. Now, while Indian economy is one of the fastest growing in the whole world, but the fact remains that we are not creating adequate jobs, and the unemployment rate in India is as high as 8.3%. So, therefore, the next budget is going to be watched carefully. Aim of government is to create jobs, but how do we create it? There are many innovative ways by which it is being created. However, this means that our defense budget or our spending on other issues will have to be reduced because you can't do both the things together. The next issue is slightly contradictory. It pertains to women's security. And if you look at the year that is passed by, the National Crime Record Bureau shows that crime against women has been recorded every minute, and the crime includes abduction, rape, religious conversion, domestic violence, etc. And this is increased despite everybody talking of women security. So, therefore, we have to ensure that women from all communities, caste, regions, backgrounds should remain safe not only in cities but in villages also. And if we are to achieve this goal, then we have to ensure at a very broad-based solution. Sensationalization of few crimes will not help. We have to carry out an even-handed, reliable, persistent law enforcement so that criminals, when they commit a crime, cannot get away. And along with this was an information that for the first time ever, India is going to deploy fully an all single unit of women peacekeepers in United Nations mission in Liberia. So this is a good news. India is going to increase significantly the number of women who are going to be there in the peacekeeping contingents. The next issue pertains to Pakistan external security. It is said that Pakistan possibly will get help from the United States to fight terrorists, especially the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, etc., who are fighting against Pakistan, and the USA will help them to kill them with the help of drone strike, etc. Will it help or not is only time will tell, but bigger weapons have never been able to eliminate terrorism. The next issue is with regard to Yangtze, where the Chinese had intruded on 7th of December, and General Ved Prakash Malik, who was the Chief of Army Staff of the Indian Army, during the Kargil war, has written a very interesting article on this issue. He says, what are the important lessons that you can learn out of Yangtze? And when General Malik says something, it has to be heard carefully and implemented. The first issue is of rules of engagement. Since 1993 up to 2001 or 2, we signed five agreements with China, which were called as the Peace and Tranquility Agreement, in which the Indian Army was not allowed to fire. But has China kept the promise? Have they stopped intruding into our border areas? The short answer is no. China does whatever it wants to, but it is ensured by making us sign five agreements that we cannot use our weapons on the border. This must stop because the agreement may be called as peace and tranquility, but there is no peace or there is no tranquility for the soldiers, the infantry soldiers who are posted on the line of actual control. Then why is the Indian Army made to follow the rules of engagement when China is breaking them? It is wrong to expect the army or any army to get involved into physical melees, brawls, scuffles, or to fight your enemy with crude sticks or some modified weapons, etc. This is nonsense. The government of India must act tough and must give powers to the soldiers to fire if required if the Chinese come too near to them. Second issue is about LSC perception. We keep on saying that this is our idea of perception as far as the borders are concerned. This is their idea of perception. This is all nonsense. The Chinese are making a fool out of us on this particular issue. The Chinese very well know as to what our perception is. We need to be straightforward and tell the Chinese that uh, we are not going to do any trade with you, carry out any economic cooperation with you till the time you behave and resolve the boundary issue. The next issue is about intelligence and surveillance about the northern borders. While we have deployed satellites and radars and many other things, but we have to ensure that we have 24 by 7, 365 days a year observation or surveillance on this border so that the moment Chinese troops try to infiltrate into our area, we immediately detect them and thereafter aim is to throw them out by sending our quick reaction team. So surveillance by satellites, by drones, by radars, by other electronic devices is very, very important, and that must be done as fast as early as possible. And we should induct all kinds of technology in this area so that we are able to detect the Chinese movement immediately and thereafter react to it. Not only that, while improving surveillance is one aspect, but equally important is to carry out an proactive action against China. We'll talk about it. As far as the next issue is concerned, it is about dual command and control. The Indo-Tibetan Border Police has been deployed on the western and the central sectors, and they don't report to the army. Army is behind them, and they report to the Ministry of Home Affairs. This is creates a problem of lack of coordination. The Indo-Tibetan Border Police on the LOC or on the LAC must be put under the command and control of the Indian Army, and this we have been talking of it since a long time without any having any effect. The government must understand that this is important. ITBP is simply not capable of facing the Chinese. The next issue is offensive spirit. Not only should we do defensive actions to stop the Chinese from coming in, but we should have an offensive spirit in which the frontline formations should be allowed to carry out a counter infiltration into the Chinese area. Should you see Chinese intruding into your area A, we should intrude into area B, which is geographically advantageous to us, for which we would have prepared ourselves in advance and give Chinese answer tit for tat. Only like upgrade our airfields in Ladakh. We should upgrade our airfields There's an airfield at a place called Neoma in eastern Ladakh. It has been converted into a full-fledged fighter jet base with allied infrastructure. It will cost more than 200 crores and it will be completed in a matter of couple of years. This will definitely improve our work of Air Force, will improve our maintenance, will improve our day-to-day administration. So this is a very important activity. The next issue is with regard to counterintelligence. There has been reports that few Russians had been killed in India. All of them were inimical to Putin, and it was felt that possibly they had been killed by the Russian agencies. But the Orissa police just shut up the case by doing nothing about it. This is wrong. When India starts becoming more and more powerful, the countries will start targeting their own people in India. So we have to improve our counterintelligence capability so that any such plan which takes place in our country is stopped straight away. And next and the last issue is that all kinds of technologies are being tested in Ukraine, and be it drones, be it robots, be it artificial intelligence, everything is being tried. And it is said that it's only a matter of time before which drones will be used as autonomous fighting vehicles, which will kill like robots. They will be robots and they will want to kill without soldiers getting hurt. So the march of technology in the Ukraine war must be kept under watch. Various technologies that have been tested there must be analyzed at a regular basis, and we should decide as to what is good for us so that we are able to induct that technology into our army. I'll stop here. Thank you very much and Jai Hind.